flip it, we did it off the 9. Stay in the kitchen, I'm never off of mine. And now I'm Kemp in his prime.
What's going down, everybody? Welcome to the Ball Don't Lie NBA Finals post-game show, man. It's your guys, Scott and Dante. You know to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Barberchair Scott, at October Zone Tay. You can follow the Barbers Chair Network at Barbers Chair Net on Twitter and Instagram. Subscribe right now to the Barbers Chair Patreon, man. We've got a new episode of Summer Sessions out right now. I actually tweeted out a video from the clip. Now I got a call from Barbers Chair HR. They said the clip was too wild. So
yeah. When I realized, like when I watched it, I said, might have to bring that back a little bit. It's okay. It's all right. Trial and error. It's trial and error. Bear with us.
Trial and error. I was like, I think this is tame for the pod. I think not. Wrong. So, if I do have a new post, we got a new video editor over here at Barber's Chair now. So, shout out to the homie Nikhil, man. He's been doing our new video. Shout out to all the new Barber's Chair members, man. We got some big announcements coming up in the coming weeks here on the Barber's Chair Network. But you guys hear us talk about the NBA Finals, man. The Denver Nuggets win game 1, 104 to the Miami Heat's 93. Nikola Jokic. I mean, at this point, I really don't know what else more to say about this dude. There's been 12 triple doubles in the NBA postseason this year. And that nigga got 9 of them. The nigga's incredible, man. Like, what was that official stat line we got from Jokic today?
Jokic, his official stat line, we got 27 points, 10 rebounds, 14 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, only 2 turnovers.
That is not too shabby.
Shabby at all. He does this shit, and like Charles Barkley says, he could barely jump over a piece of paper. Like, it's not, the uber athletic person we used to seeing. It's just an extremely high IQ player going to work every day, bro. And the shit it's fun to watch. Obviously I ain't gonna sit here in front. Like, I watched some Nuggets games because on some League Pass or illegal stream. Shout out to all my streamers. We not paying the $5. But so I've seen, obviously I know what Jokic does, but to see him on a consistent basis on a national level, that's big for the league. And I think that's something that we need to see happen. And I'm glad it's happening because that's the only way we're gonna get out of this, narrative-driven league that we got right now. So it was a hell of a game from Jokic, bro. But like, what more can we really say? We've been saying it all season.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people, if you're like on East Coast time, you probably haven't seen a lot of Nuggets games, like because the motherfuckers come on so damn late. But I've seen a lot. I've been a Jokic truther. This has been a special postseason for me because all the players that I am truthers of or stand for have been making me look good for the most part. And Jokic is out here just casual at this point. Like, to me, I haven't seen dominance from like a center like this probably since Shaq. And I know Tim Duncan played a little bit of center, but when I think of Tim Duncan, I think of power forward. Like that's what I think when I think of TD.
Yeah, G, and even with that though, like the Joker is just as dominant. He's been just as dominant as Shaq, but it's not as physical. It's not as athletic because like Shaq was 320 pounds moving like that. Like with Joker, it's slow, it's methodic. It's like I'm gonna get to my spots. I'm gonna get mine. My teammates gonna get theirs, and there's nothing you could do about it. Like at the end of the first quarter, he had 6 points and 8 assists or some shit like that. Like, yeah. So like it's just a steady build, and he does it for 4 quarters. And that's the thing. A lot of times we saw with the guy who won MVP Embiid. When you get to that 4th quarter, he's dog tired. It's tough for him to really contribute the same way. But with Joker, it's a steady climb for 4 quarters where you're getting consistently the best big in the league.
Yeah, and also the thing too about him is like not only is this his scoring, like the thing that makes Joker tough is he will kill you in other parts of the game. You know what I'm saying? Like even look at the first quarter, man. The first quarter, where I knew this shit was going to dart was Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon. Now they both only finished with like 14 for Porter, 16 for Aaron Gordon, but they were cooking in the first quarter. And
real quick, Gordon had 12 in the first quarter. Like I text you, I said, so they was gonna let Aaron Gordon kill them the whole game. Like, he was going crazy.
Yeah. And that kind of allowed Jokic and Jamal Murray to like ease into the game. Like Jokic only took 12 shots the entire fucking game. Like that shit is crazy. Jamal Murray finished with 26 points, 10 assists, 6 rebounds. This dude, man, he's making me look bad. I like I said, I apologize to Jamal Murray on this week's Ball Don't Lie. I'm gonna apologize again. This nigga's for real.
Yeah, bro. Like a lot of people thought it was a fluke. It was the bubble. You know, he was on this TJ Warren, but no, he's showing you like, and this is something that before the bubble, he was building up to this type of player. And like we always talk about, before all of this happened, every playoff series that Joker and Murray played together, they went to a game 7. I think that was up until like either last season or the season before that when we finally got out the bubble. But this has been a team that's slowly built up to what we see right now. And so with Murray, bro, like you said, he's come back off the injury, ACL tears, modern medicine is amazing, but still that's an injury that's, it's tough to come back from and be 100% yourself all the time. And so to see him come back and he's back to the Jamal Murray we were seeing in the bubble.
Yeah, and I think the thing too that just makes this entire Denver Nuggets team special is I love teams that have killer instinct. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't fuck around. As somebody who I love watching the Warriors, of course, Steph's my favorite player. Them niggas fuck around. They fuck. Not granted, they have earned the right to fuck around. If there was any team who has earned the right to fuck around, it would be them. But they're just going straight for the kill. And I haven't seen a championship contender this locked in probably since the 2014 Spurs. Like what they were just like full all the way go in.
Yeah, bro. And I think, part of that whole narrative driven shit we've been seeing all season, that's part of the reason we've underestimated them throughout the playoffs. Yeah. Like, because when you really look at it, like every time, every matchup they've been in, we found a reason to say, oh, well, they could do this. This could happen. That could happen. Well, what if this, just finding ways to discredit them and, change the narrative, especially with the Lakers shit and how LeBron threw that smoke bomb at the end, to talk about retirement and everybody quickly, shifted focus away from the Nuggets, sweeping them. But I think that's been the issue.
I think, also too, it's like, this was like a huge game for their starting lineup because if you look at the bench, like they only went with 8-man rotation, which is typical for the finals. Bruce Brown had 10 points off the bench. Jeff Green had 4. You know what I'm saying? And so that's pretty much all. Yeah, so 14 bench points, but they were just so locked down and defensively. Like from Miami's perspective, like I'm not like. Of course, we both picked. I think we both had the Nuggets in 5 on our preview show. So it's not that I think this is gonna change. But if you're looking from the Miami side, they look like they were the tired team tonight.
Yeah, and this is my thing, bro. Like if you're Miami, obviously you lost by double digits, but at the same time you got absolutely nothing from players who have been contributing for you the entire playoffs. Yeah. Like Max Strauss, he went 0 for 10?
0 for 10 from 3.
He went 0 for 10, 0 for 9 from 3. Caleb Martin, he had 3 points. The players that you've been leaning on to help out Jimmy, who didn't have a good game, they struggled. Bam had a solid game. He had 26 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists. Obviously, like I said, Joker is gonna do what Joker do. But you're gonna have to start. One thing we know about Spo is he's gonna start to mix it up defensively because I think like the way they jumped out in that first quarter and Aaron Gordon was just abusing whoever they had on him. It's like I know you want to put Bam on Joker, but sometimes you may have to swap that shit off. Like you can't, you just can't sit there and let him take advantage of those matchups. And that was one thing today that we saw. They got out to the. Did Miami ever lead?
They had like a 3-point lead or some shit like that in the first quarter. Like they had a brief lead in the first. But
it was brief. It was very brief.
So, but it kind of goes to what we were saying in the preview show. Like you can't have scoring droughts against this team. Like you can afford that shit against the Knicks or the Bucks sometimes, and Bucks without Giannis, and especially against the fucking Celtics because they'll go on a deeper drought than you will. But you go on a drought against the Nuggets, you're gonna look up you down 30. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I kind of feel like we were like I said the only shot I gave Miami for making this a long series. And of course, it's one game. I don't want to overreact over one game, especially with a team that has been as resilient as the Heat and with the coach as great as Eric Spoelstra. But we thought that the Nuggets were going to be the rusty team. They look like they didn't lose a step. Like the rest helped them.
Yeah, bro. And I was saying that to people that, like, I know everybody was saying, "Oh, pick the team that got the momentum." But at the same time, was one thing at this point the only knock I got left on Jimmy Butler. What happens at the end of the year every year?
He runs out of gas.
He runs out of gas because he has to do so much to carry his team. And yeah, it's great. Yeah, it makes for a good story. But he always hits a wall or hits a point where it's like, all right, I need y'all motherfuckers to help me.
Yeah.
And so now it's a matter of who's going to step up to help him. Because, I mean, like I said, in modern NBA terms, you gave up 104 points. So, that's not that bad. And you didn't get anything from your role players. I know, a lot of times role players, the game don't really travel on the road. But they got absolutely nothing from people who have been contributing the entire playoffs. So, I think, like I said, we all know Spo's going to go back to the drawing board, draw some more shit up. But I think this is I still got the Nuggets in 5, but I'm interested to see how he comes out in game 2 because you can't have Aaron Gordon get 12 points in the first quarter. And, they were down. I think they were down. Were they down double digits by the end of the first? Or they were down?
Nah, it was like they were down like 6 or 8 by the end of the first. It was kind of like towards halftime when it started to get dark.
Yeah.
And I give the Heat credit. They fought back. Like there was a point where they were down 24 points. They cut it to like 9 in the fourth quarter. But the thing to me is like you just brought up with Jimmy Butler. The thing that irritates me the most is kind of and I'm not comparing the two for anybody who says he's not this player. It's kind of like what LeBron does sometimes, where they want to get everybody else involved too much, and they're not aggressive themselves. Like Jimmy only shot the ball 14 times. I need more than that. I need more than that when your team needs more points, and especially when you got your 3-point guys not shooting as well. Like Caleb Martin had a big Eastern Conference Final, only had 3 points tonight. Gabe Vincent had 19 points, but he had a rough time shooting. Max Strus 0, 0 points. You know what I'm saying? Like you got some good shit from Haywood Highsmith. 18 points off the bench. A lot of that was garbage time, but I still liked his energy. Kyle Lowry did what he needed to do. In order for the Heat to even have a shot of winning by making this competitive. What I mean by making this competitive is at the bare minimum make this a 6-game series. You can't have the games that you have from Strus and from Martin. And you know what I'm saying? And basically, Gabe Vincent has to shoot better. And you need more from Jimmy Butler. Usually, if you're like a superstar, you got to be able to step up and do what you got to do when things are getting crazy. And that's not really part of Jimmy Butler's game, but it's going to have to be his game if he wants to win a championship.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, bro. I think we hear all the greats say this all the time. It's like if you average 25 in a regular season, I need 32, 34 from you in the playoffs. Come finals time, you really got to step it up, especially when you're on a team like Jimmy that's built, around him, and he is the guy that makes that engine go. So you're absolutely right. Like as much as you don't want to pile on him because of everything he's done for that team, and he's the reason they got there. We're at the point now where we're here, Jimmy. We need that same, those same miraculous performances you had to get us here. We need that every night now. Like that needs to be consistently you. And because of the energy he, exerts every night, this is like I said, we've been saying this for years. I don't know if he's able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you have those flashes. Like we saw that a lot in especially the Bucks series. And at the beginning of the Celtics series, where he was just like cooking at an unreal level. But we know when his jump shot is on, and it's very hit and miss. His jump shot is always, it's way better than it used to be. When he was on the Bulls, that shit was nigga, no. So it's way better than it used to be. But since game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals, Jimmy has been just cool. You know what I'm saying? And, as far as, when we talk about with Bam, like the fucked up thing for Bam had a great game offensively. 26 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists. Like, but there's just nothing he can do. Like, he's going to have to take on the full assignment, like you said, because them Cody Zeller minutes on Jokic was like borderline disrespectful.
Yeah, bro. I mean, it's one of those things where they miss Tyler Hero.
Yeah.
They really miss Tyler Hero because he's another person who can get not only hit shots, but get his own shots. And so again, it all falls back to that stress that it puts on Jimmy to do everything. And so, like you said, I think we might get some more Kevin Love minutes because you got to switch it up, bro. Kevin,
Yeah.
I don't know why he went from starting in some games to going to DMPs, but you got to try something different. You have to. It's just because I know we always, people love to throw the cliche around. Oh, the series don't start until the home team
Until
loses
home
and all
team
that.
loses at home. Yeah.
You don't want to go back to Miami down two.
No.
You need to steal one of these games.
Especially as good as this team plays in a row. Like the Phoenix series was like the outlier because Book and KD were just playing at like an unreal level. Like game 3 or 4 in that series, I think Landry Shamet has 16 fourth quarter points. That shit ain't happening all the time. And when push came to shove and it was a 2-game series, beat the shit out of them at home. And then game 6 wasn't even close.
Yeah.
There were, they could have swept the Timberwolves if they didn't outdone the Timberwolves in the last couple minutes. So this team has no problem playing on the road. I think this team is very focused, and there's only so much that I feel like that the Heat can do just from a matchup perspective. Because even in the first half, I was like, "Yo, that's the first time I was like, yo, Gabe Vincent's too small. G, like there's nothing they can do. There's nothing he can do with this front court."
Yeah, and Denver's one of the few teams. They old school. They run a 2 big lineup, like two big motherfuckers. Like, don't get me wrong, Aaron Gordon can stretch the floor and he can defend multiple positions and all of that. But he's still at the end of the day like your classic 4. Like he's listed. He's listed like 6'10", I think.
He's like 6'10". Yeah,
might be bigger than that. But either way, like no, they have a 2 big lineup and they can really punish you if they want to. Pause. But they. Like I said, from the opening tip, that's exactly what they did. They exposed those matchups, and so when you have 2 great coaches like this, I'm interested to see the chess match and how they do things differently in game 2. Because there's no way we've seen it all playoffs. There's no way Spo comes out and runs the same sets, runs the same anything that he did in game 1. He's gonna switch it up.
He's way too good for that shit, man. He's gonna find adjustments, and basketball is about adjustments more than probably any sport. I mean, of course, football is up there, obviously, but like basketball is probably the most like adjustments that we see because it's a series. You know what I'm saying? So things change from game to game. Now, you just brought up Tyler Hero. Now, Woj put out a report today that Tyler Hero is probably going to play the series. He's pushing for game 2, but it's more than likely game 3. Now, here's my issue with this. One, I respect him wanting to play. I get it. I respect players wanting to play. We know that risk is not 100%. We know that risk is not 100%.
It's a shooting risk?
Yeah, it's a shooting risk, I think. It's a shooting risk. And he broke that probably like 6-7 weeks ago. So I'm pretty sure it's not 100%. But my thing is this, and I think you kind of see this with players who've been out too long. I think it could potentially fuck up the chemistry that this team has. What do you think? Like, do you think that they should just go ahead with it, or how would you play Tyler Hero if you're Eric Spoelstra?
I mean, at this point, I need all hands on deck. So he would definitely play, but he would come off the bench. It would be in a 6-man role, and I would try because it's his wrist, and he's probably not in tip-top basketball shape, which is part of the reason why they probably been holding him out as well. I would try to stagger his minutes to the point where I use him in those clutch situations, like whether it be, okay, I got to get Jimmy a rest. All right, Tyler, I need you to go in there and give me 6 or 8 points in this quarter or in this spurt right here, whatever, just to keep shit steady. And then also having him for that fourth quarter where you need all hands on deck. Because like you see in this game, they put up a fight in the fourth quarter, but at the end of the day, they just didn't have enough weapons to actually come back. So, if when Tyler comes back, if I'm Spo, like I said, like I'm gonna use him off the bench. The first time he goes in the game will probably be the first time I take Jimmy out. So that might not be until like 9 minutes into the first. You know how Jimmy play. So let him get a feel for it, get his way back in there. But I would definitely try to, as I have him on that minutes limit, backload those minutes toward the second half and the fourth quarter, because that's when you really gonna need those buckets.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's definitely the way I would run them too. Put them out there with like Lowry or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I think the only problem with that is what we talk about is the size. Because then you're going small again, super small. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
absolutely no size. Like Bam is literally in hell. Like I actually feel bad for Bam. Like there's no way out of this shit. He just going to have to take that beating, bro. Because there's nothing he can do. Like you said, they going to have to probably play Kevin Love just because he got a little body mass on him. Something,
Yeah, you got to, bro.
something, bro.
They
That's
were
the only
getting
way to
they
do
were
it.
getting abused on the inside.
Yeah, I mean,
In
look,
fact,
it was like
what was the
46
rebounding
paint.
battle?
It was 46 paint points right here. The rebounding battle, crazy thing about it, it wasn't like that big of
Yeah,
a
48
fucking
to 51.
difference. 48-51. Um,
Denver was +3. So yeah, you're right. It wasn't that bad.
yeah, it wasn't that bad, but it's just like it just comes a point in every series. You're just not stopping this Denver train, bro. Like if you look at it, like the Heat actually shot better for three. You know what I'm saying? 33%.
Yeah.
Nuggets shot 29%. And then also the thing here is very, very important. The Nuggets shot 20 free throws. The Heat only shot 2. They got to get to the free throw line. And they had more assists. The paint points is killing them. 46 paint points. That can't
God
happen.
damn, 2 free throws, nigga.
2 free throws, bro. 2 free throws. You got to get to the fucking free throw line. We talk about, as we wrap this up, we talk about everything the Heat got to do. But what do you think the Nuggets should do to keep the pressure on, or should they just keep playing the game they playing?
Bro, keep playing the game you're playing. Like it's been extremely effective all season. All playoffs. Be who you are and do what got you here. And I think if I'm the Nuggets at this point, I'm not borderline cocky because you definitely want to stay locked in, but it's to the point where y'all really can't fuck with me. So like I'm gonna play my game and make you adjust. Like it's kind of like with Floyd Mayweather. Floyd didn't adjust to nobody. He took that first round, he locked in, and then he made you adjust to him. Like he played his game. Like that's what the Nuggets need to do. Like just keep being the Nuggets, bro. Because at this point, you've seen a lot of these teams simply don't have the necessary tools to stop them, and that's the thing. You got Joker, who like we said, it's nothing crazy athletic about it. But then you got shot makers like Murray and Michael Porter. You feel me? They got the role players like Brown and KCP, guys who are stepping up and contributing in these key moments. So just keep doing what you're doing because it's you up 1-0. You 3 wins. Excuse me, 3 wins away from a title.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. Just keep your foot on the gas, and this is their year, man. I think the only thing I can say for the Heat, it's like when you fighting a bully or some shit, man. At least get a lick. You know what I'm saying? Like at least pinch the bitch. Yeah, at least pinch the bitch, bro. Like, at least pinch the bitch. If you gonna lose, Jimmy, you to jack them shots up. I can't be seeing them on 14 shot attempts. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Jimmy gotta take at least 20 shots, G.
At the bare fucking minimum. Now,
at least
I will say this about game 2. I'm not expecting Max Strus to go 0 for 10. These weren't like super contested threes. Not that they will have a better 3-point shooting game. I don't think it's gonna be enough, but it's going to be something that at least they can, hope to do, man. So this is just one of the things where I'm just hoping we have some competitive games, even if it is a sweep.
Yeah, G, and don't get me wrong. Like, shout out to Max Strus. He's had an amazing playoffs, but let's not talk like this nigga's Klay Thompson. Let's keep it realistic here. You feel me? Like, he may hit 1 or 2 threes, but that's not. You need more than that if they're gonna beat Denver, to win a championship. But I agree with you. Like, he's not gonna go 0 for 10. Like, that's crazy. 0 for 10, 0 for 9 from 3. I don't think that happens again. But at the same time, if Denver gets a couple more shots from a couple of their role players, then it's a whole different ball game.
You need more from Duncan Robinson too. I forgot this nigga even played today. Like
he turned back into Steve Novak, bro. You know how he go. He picks and chooses when he's gonna contribute. Like it's
after
crazy.
game 6, it was a fucking wrap. I still can't believe he missed them wide ass open threes. That was ridiculous.
Hey, what Mike Malone say? He said, "Hey, specialists don't play in the playoffs."
Right.
So we're gonna see how much Duncan Robinson we get. Yeah. That was a bar, money.
Shout out to Michael Malone, dog. when he actually wins, he is going to cut such a great promo. Like, I love how they still keeping their foot on Lakers' necks. I don't know if you heard Bruce Brown say, like, yeah, Jokic was cooking that nigga AD. He's like, he was cooking that nigga. Like, and there's nothing Lakers can say.
Yeah, no, it's sad, bro. Tristan Thompson probably defended Joker the best, and he on ESPN right now.
He on NBA Today. Right? He up here with Tim Legler and shit. And he did better than AD. It's fucking ridiculous, man. But I don't know, man. I just hope for a closer game. One thing you can tell is a small market because the only celebrities there was Sean Payton, Peyton Manning, and motherfucking Russell Wilson, and Shaq because he had to be there contractually. You're not gonna see the real celebrities till Miami. That's when you'll see real celebrities in the NBA Finals, man. But that's all we got for y'all today, man. For tonight, for our game one post game show, we will be back Sunday night for game two. We're gonna get like a guest or two up in here. Next week we will have an announcement. It won't be game two. We're gonna have an announcement after game four, so look out for that for the future of Ball Don't Lie. Got some big news for y'all, man. So y'all know to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Barberchair Scott, at October Zone Tay. Follow the Barbers Chair Network at Barbers Chair Net on Twitter and Instagram. Visit thebcnet.com, man. Subscribe to the Barbers Chair Network Patreon. It's right there on the screen. Barbers Chair, patreon.com/Barbers Chair Network. Yeah, you see, I'm getting my producer skills on, man.
Niggas got graphics. Fuck you, man. He out here.
I'm getting my producer skills on, man. By the end of summer, you niggas can't fuck with me. Let's be very clear. Let's be very clear, man. So we gonna holler at y'all on Sunday night. And see how that happens in game two, man. So